Welcome to Aunty K's, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hello everyone and welcome to Aunty K's Tarot. You can see I got a reading mat, a Lenormand reading mat. It's from Divination Apothecary. I wanted an 8x4 by 4. And I wanted it to fit bridge-sized cards, like the Rustic Roots and the Rana George, which are my most used decks. And I also wanted the titles to appear above the card placements. And that was the most difficult thing to find in one of these mats, was the titles above. It's backed, it's a backed rubber mat. You can get two-sided. I didn't. And there were different themes, and I chose this adorable fairy theme. But also, I can place playing cards in here because the space between the titles in each card space. I can also fit a playing card deck in here and look at it according to the houses. And I'm noting the like Queen of Clubs in the snake placement, you know, right beside New Romance. You know, and this other queen over here who's about to get jilted. This is pretty fascinating. And I will put that away and not get sidetracked, because what we are actually covering here today isn't my gorgeous new mat I found on Etsy. So the actual purpose of today's video is a VR to Juli at Peekaboo Rose, and the tag is Comical Cards, Decks That Make Me Laugh. So we are going to zoom in and only view part of my lovely mat and take a look at my collection of comical cards. So my first deck up in this tag is Fortune Queens. This is a deck by Juano Cristiano. It is volume 2, and I believe there are 3 volumes of this deck. And he is a queer creator from Mexico, and he turned RuPaul's Drag Race into RWS clone deck. And this deck is a deck that I think is awesome, hilarious, makes me happy, makes me smile. I pull it out to deal with certain types of difficult clients, because this deck keeps me in an awesome mood to give a unbiased reading when not colored by my own side thoughts. And I think this deck is just genius, hilarious, and it makes me really happy. It always brings a smile to my face. And yeah, there we go. So this is Fortune Queens, and this deck is just, oh, this deck is so my cup of tea. I really, really enjoy it. Have a lot of political issues with RuPaul, but I love drag, and you know, COVID meant I saw a lot less drag, and then moving to the country also did. So there's 2 straight up oracles we are going to cover here. And that is the Wild Witch and the Zombie Oracle This is by Jagorsky's Tarot, and this is by May North Market. These decks are 2 oracle decks I find charming. Rain Witch, providing sudden yet refreshing change, new beginnings. This is a bit more of a dark, funny, and this is more of a light one. Moon Witch, no matter what phase I am in, I am still whole. So this is 2 decks that it doesn't matter whether I use them a lot or a little. I know they're there. They bring me a good amount of joy, and I am really enjoying them. Owl Witch, bringing you clarity and the ability to see what others may not. Inside Threat, point of view. Serpent Witch, shows you how to shed what was to prepare for what is to be. Witch of Encouragement. Like, it's just really great. My favorite card in this deck is the Mud Witch. Mud Witch. It's okay. Things aren't clear. It gives you time to make the right decision. Safety. So these are like happy place decks. There's you know, there's humor to them. They make me laugh, and so we have that. Donut Lovers is a deck that brings me joy looking at these donuts, some of which are kind of crazy. I want to show like the unicorn donut, stuff like that. So this is another one. Curious Cats Club. So these little cats are adorable, and they definitely bring a smile to me. This little fishmonger cat, this, you know, scary looking cat, an alien cat. They're adorable, and they bring me that kind of, you know, decks that make me laugh, decks that make me happy, like this cat right in the ramen. And so I really, you know, the cat taking the dump. This is just a deck that will, oh, there's the fishmonger, that really makes me happy and smiley, and is just all kinds of adorable. The Cat Marseille has that same adorability feel with these cats, cartoony cats doing human-y things. They're just silly and adorable at the same time in pretty much every card. So that is quite enjoyable for me. So, Mystic Medleys. This deck is all kinds of ridiculousness, especially the faces. I like the ridiculously happy, sad, lovesick, and scary faces. Sometimes not exactly where you were expecting them. And the faces in this deck are so ridiculously expressive. It makes it a really great reader. And it makes you think about expressions you maybe weren't always necessarily expecting, sometimes very much, like there. But I find they really work. And it's ridiculous. And, like, every read is a joy. This is a Self-Love Tarot by Hannah Tricor, and this is a deck that's all kinds of ridiculousness. The poorly drawn people that look more human than a lot of decks. The vagina shapes, the people with animal heads, lots of people with animal heads, and you know, we got the Seven of Cups. They've got 7 hands. You know, like that's the ridiculous tower person. So as far as decks that make me laugh, this one is definitely up there. Okay. Tell me we're going to a comedy show and I will find my way out of it. Tell me we're going to a lecture or symposium and I will feel so much joy. I will experience so much joy while there. Tarot Neo-Colonial. Reading the guidebook, well, looking at these cards that make fun of the seriousness of colonialism from perspective of those having the brunt of it, making fun of the colonizers. This deck brings me joy, and it's so interesting and so much to learn. Patrick McGrath Muniz bases the art on Spanish colonial style art and sometimes on specific Spanish colonial paintings, which is something done by a artist who lives up here in so-called Canada, who's Indigenous, called Ken Monkman, and he does the same thing with English colonial art. And the result is educational and hilarious, kind of like Romeo and Juliet, and I love it, and it cracks me up. Similarly, but not nearly as funny, is 2020 Visions. By Crystal Banner. It is politically referenced, kind of funny, just not as like hilarious as Tarot Neo-Colonial, or necessarily always as deep, but it's a great deck, and if I choose it wisely for the right reading, I do find it amusing. So, Divine Diversity 2, which annoys me because it's not very diverse, is like a guilty pleasure joy. Like, everybody is so fantasy world, sometimes even in their costumes. There's a huge thirst factor, although more for gay dudes than lesbian women like myself. This death is ridiculous, and her posture, and it brings me joy in that. This one's in like a regular typical outfit and a tool belt, and this one's got this like, you know, I am going off to Comic-Con outfit on. I love that as a combination of two folks in the Four Wands. So that is how I feel about Divine Diversity 2. It is a deck I have mixed feelings about, but it is a deck that it's also a deck of visual pleasure. Similarly, in Guilty Pleasures would be the Little Wizards deck by Push Kitty. Obviously no thirst factor here, but it is funny. Like, the perfect funny choice for the Ten of Pentacles. It's a guilty pleasure I allowed myself because It's fan art and not licensed. And it, you know, it is a fun little guilty pleasure as well. And so those are the Comical decks. The decks that make me laugh, you know, bring me joy. And these two are the ones that I would say are my top choices for this tag and category. And yeah, these are my top choices in this category of comical decks that make me laugh and bring me a lot of joy. And I also am waiting for the joy of reading on this new mat here when I get to work this evening. And my other joy would be 8 days ago, we had an ice storm that lasted like 18 hours, and then we were 24 hours without power. And here we are a week after power returning, and it's 27 degrees Celsius. Like, we don't even get a lot of summer days that are this warm. It makes me very sad for the climate. Well, today I am enjoying it, although I've put out offerings and thoughts and words to the earths and the waters that are suffering for this warm day. So, see y'all later, folks.